Let's hope this goes a little better than streaming. I tried to stream this a couple of days back, and it was not having it. Since then, upgraded RAM, so I now actually meet the minimum requirements for this. And have turned down things the camera's doing a little bit. So hopefully, I'll actually be able to play this now. Oh, you want to press A, not start. Yeah, I'm playing this on controller, not keyboard, because I saw the...
Oh. Solus. Smart, thoughtful, loved to hear himself talk. But long ago, he had a different name. The Dreadwolf. Ancient elven god of lies, or heroic rebel against tyranny, depending on which story you believe. In his desperate fight against the corrupt elven gods, Solus imprisoned them, creating a veil that split our world from the raw magic of the Fade. He had won. But the veil cost the elves everything. Their magic, their freedom, even their immortality. Now, Solus wants to tear down that veil and undo the damage he caused, even if that means our world has to burn. Somebody's gotta stop him, and that's where you come in.
So musically, the composers on this are much more channeling the Trevor Morris than in on Zeta. But I have seen that before, from when I tried streaming it before. The thing I like most about it is it kind of shows that the people who made this like the same things about Dragon Age 2 that I do. Why are you giving me... There we go. I think when I nudge the mouse, it goes to thinking I'm on keyboard and mouse. So I'm going to put that further out of the way, so I'm less likely to nudge it. And I'm going to edit a lot of this down, because this is going to be spending a lot of time looking at nose sliders, and you don't need to be here for that. But the result of the poll for character creation was Qunari Mage Shadow Dragon. It is Bonfire Night. Which is going to make for an interesting story. Let's just go straight into appearance rather than going through those options. That's not far off. Actually, I'm going to on my other monitor pull up the art I've done. One thing I didn't put to a poll this time was gender, because it doesn't affect Veilguard in the same way as it did previous games, so I left that as up to a me choice. I'd like to go for non-binary because you can in Veilguard, which hasn't been an option before. And also, all my romances so far have been gay, and this means that straight isn't an option. My headcanon for this character is starting at the time of Trespasser. Stop rotating. Stop it. That's weirdly hard to control. This character's in their early 20s. So, at the time of Trespasser, would have been a child. Now, at what age do a Qunari's magical powers manifest? Because it's probably quite young. Like, it'll be the same as other races, presumably. And at that point, as with humans, Qunari get marked as mages, but it's a completely different thing for Qunari because of the notion of Sarabas. Which is why the first thing I want to do is cut off her horns. As always seems to be done with Sarabas. Now, there don't appear to be horns of a similar style to what I've drawn, which is a little sad, but that's what you get for drawing the art before the character comes out. Character creator comes out even. But shorn off horns. There's that. Stop spinning. The amount it... Now, I'm not holding that button. That's... That's fiddly. That's very fiddly indeed. Stop it. There we go. Slightly irritating. So, around the time of Trespasser, they would have been assigned to Tarabas, and presumably largely the effects of Sarakamak. Mind-breaking drug that the Canary use to keep people in check, which you need to keep your mages in check by Canary rules. Ooh, material. Is close to what I've drawn. Ah, you can zoom out. And what would happen to those groups of young Sarabas when suddenly Solus comes waltzing through? And I suspect that those keeping them would have been killed, but the Sarabas themselves wouldn't. Because it's nothing to do with them that led them to be here, they're simply fellow mages. However little time they have left in his grand plan. Instead, what if he took them and had them raised by his own agents in Thedas? Ooh. Ooh. Interesting sliders. Say, a cell within Minrathus, who presumably wouldn't have fared that well in the events leading up to Veilguard. But Sarabas has some sticking power. I reckon they could feasibly be the last survivor of such a cell. And a Canary Mage in Tevinter is going to be an interesting thing to a group looking for freedom fighters against the current regime. Now, so far, I've really liked this character creator because of its giving you swatches that you can see, rather than putting things that shouldn't be on sliders on sliders. This is the first time it's put something that shouldn't be a slider on a slider. That's actually remarkably close to how I've drawn them. Yeah. At this angle, I can't tell what that's doing, and rotating is a pain. That's what that's doing. Okay. Yeah, presumably that's themselves. This is a faff. Okay, no, that's that bit. Okay. Right. So the horns are completely different from how I've drawn them. Stop spinning! There's always the temptation to try and make a micro adjustment to the rotation. You can't. There are no micro adjustments. One thing that I have thought with this is, if you're gonna want to go relatively unnoticed in Tevinter as a Canary, being short for a Canary is very helpful. It would be really useful to be able to compare this with other races, because with a hood up, they could presumably pass relatively easily for just a tall human. I think taken out of the sort of military structure of the Cune, you're also not going to be the most muscular of Cune. I like the cues that they've taken from The Sims for this, because for a long time, The Sims has had the only good character creator. And I know that Corinne Bush has said that she wanted to bring some of inspiration from The Sims into this. Oh, hold on a sec. No, I'm not trying to turn. I'm trying to... Ah! Stop turning. It's fun. What's in the blade? Does it mean making your character an Inquisition? It's a quite common Kunari eye colour, but... Well, they're common for others. Oh! That was a leitmotif from Dragon Age 2 music. Nice. Oh. That is something you get with Kunari, which I'd forgotten about when making art for this character. So... Actually, Ah, yes. I don't want to forget what cataracts are. Bits of the face having their own sections in this, but them also being after things like body shape is surprising to me. Stop spinning. Stop spinning. Thank you. I'm getting less sure about the complexion, though. swatches. Now, the strange thing is, I've given them a style which is quite common in Kunari in the earlier games, and I can't see anything like it here. Just when I thought I'd figured out the camera rotation, nope. I think that's the closest I'm going to get. And despite Bull's comments, we know you do get redhead canaries. Because when we finally meet the Vidasawa, we find that she's ginger. One thing I did wonder about was, gender-wise, I think Sarabas are generally considered male in the Qun, and therefore Rook's gender would kind of be unimportant to them as a person outside the Qun. As like people who raised them outside the Qun going, Sarabas, they're a Kunari. Their ideas of gender are weird anyway, so we got no clue what's going on with you. And they just go, yeah, fine, whatever. Now, one thing I do want to know is regarding a past as a Sarabas. Can they have lip scars from the stitching? These are really helpful visual swatches. I say they're really helpful. I can't see what this one is. We're on the wrong side of the face, isn't it? Or is that the... Oh no, that's by the horn. Okay. I think. Oh, they fade in and out slightly. Oh. Doesn't look like you can. Slightly disappointing. Thankfully, I haven't drawn them with one. I just thought it'd be really nice if you could have that touch. Can you mirror it? Doesn't look like you can mirror it, and there isn't an option on this side of the face. Slightly disappointing, but yeah, looks about right. Like, I wanted the scar to go across the horn, but you can't have the horns coming onto the forehead in the way that I drew them. Paint. These don't... Well, I suppose some of them do look quite bitter. Are any of these actually Vitar patterns from Inquisition? Oh, I think that one is. Yeah. I think I have some screenshots of Bull with that. Oh, I hadn't found this menu at all. Around about there. So, the advantage being a build that you wouldn't be able to recognise as Canary with their hood up. Particularly those baggy hoods that would hide the shape of the horns. Now that only took 3/4 of an hour. Class-wise. Mage. This again feels very Dragon Age 2. What? That's fun. What do you get to explore? You could choose a specialization here. I can't select between them. Because I really think Spellblade would be... I've played a semi-Sarabas in Inquisition. One of my Inquisitors was a Talbashov who used the reputation of Sarabas and therefore did magic that was very similar to them. And Spellblade looks to play into that same kind of thing. Oh! It has changed between them. It just seems quite slow to respond. It responded while I was yammering at you. Oh, unless... Is it just scrolling through these on a loop? It's just scrolling through these on a loop. Okay. You in that. And... make you a Shadow Dragon. Mirko. Gain reputation with the Shadow Dragons more quickly. Makes sense. Deal increased damage versus Venatori. Makes a lot of sense. Your class-specific resource regenerates slightly faster. I don't know what my class-specific resource is. Oh, class-specific. Right. Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking faction-specific. Breaker of Bonds. Rook risked everything to liberate the enslaved people of Tevinter, even though it could anger the ruling elite. Foundling Rook was adopted into a military family and joined the Shadow Dragons to fight from the shadows for change of Minrathous. So far, headcanon not broken. While guarding a visiting dignitary who was investigating a slavery ring in the nearby city of Nessus, Rook concluded the mission would fail without throwing caution to the wind. Alone, they sneak the dignitary deep into Venatori-controlled zones and brought him back, along with the rescued slaves. These actions brought Rook to the Venatori's attention, and the Shadow Dragons decided to keep Rook out of sight. Playstyle? Oh! Difficulty settings. Gotcha. I will be playing this on the most casual thing it has available. I don't play Dragon Age games for the mechanics, even though I've been told that this one is fun. Yeah, I'm here just for the story, especially when streaming, because you don't play well while streaming. Right. Name. Something I haven't picked. it'll be a Tevinter name rather than a Canary name. Makes sense. Mintus. No characters can't change. Voice.
I'm glad you're here.
Eric Ishii.
Time to get to work. What's he been saying now?
And now, onto Inquisition. Customizing the choices from that. Now, I have heard that there are disappointingly few things that you can bring over from Inquisition. But let's see. So, I was an elf. This is true. I'm going to pull up another reference image. And I'm also going to hope that they haven't changed the Valis Lyn from Inquisition. Because if you have to make your Inquisitor with Valis Lyn that doesn't match what was available in Inquisition, that'll be annoying. I'm going to go straight to the Valis Lyn to check, because that's makeup. This paint. Inquisition music. Tattoos, not paint. There we go. Good. I'm going to get her hair out of the way so that I can... Well, not out of the way. There is a hide hair option, which would be useful. I just want to get a hair that is more like the reference image I'm working to. Because that makes the reference image easier to work to. There are two things I've been thinking quite a bit about this Inquisitor regarding how she works now. Because, for one thing, hairstyles that are easy to do with one hand. Now, we can see from the zoomed out view, she does have what appears to be a fully functioning prosthetic arm with fingers, which is somewhat disappointing from at least a disability representation point of view. I think that might be the closest I'm going to get. And the colour's already pretty close. Yeah, that does appear to be just like a full arm. More Inquisition music. Let's change this. Okay, that rotates it in. The ears went quite back rather than out. Stop spinning! I'm not touching anything. Nose. I really like the Dragon Age 2 style of elf noses that made them look facially distinctive. Which several of these presets get quite well. I am so glad I'm going to be editing this down because there's so much of me just staring silently at sliders here. And occasionally, spinquisitors. I've just been glossing over how good the hair looks in this game. Just so much has changed in hair graphics in general in the last 10 years. You know what? I recognise her. It's got to the point where I'm going, yeah, that's my Inquisitor. What I am going to do is make her look like 10 years have passed. How many complexions up? Well, 42. Youthful. Why can you make a youthful Inquisitor? I suppose they might only be about 28 or something. That's fairly youthful. This does feel very inspired by how The Sims 4 does it. Yeah, that's my Inquisitor. Of whom I have yet to say anything about class. That is an interesting prosthesis. Appears to be wooden. Zoom in on a hand. Oh. Didn't realise you could do that as well. Rogue. Specifically an archer. Which will be interesting with a prosthetic left hand. I had a look into one-handed archery, and I was expecting there to be not that uncommon a prosthesis for holding the bow, but invariably it seems like holding the bow is for if you only have one hand, you hold the bow with the one hand you have and have a prosthesis for drawing the arrow, which lends itself well to target archery but not combat archery. So I don't know, I've probably overthought it. I haven't been able to choose class yet, which is interesting. Hopefully that's under summary. It'd be weird if she charges in with a sword and shield.
I won't. We need to move!
Yep, that's her. So I haven't said anything about class there, and I haven't said anything about any other choices imported. Aha. I can't say she romanced Harding. That is specifically impactful to the beginning of Veilguard. I can't say anything about it. Disappointment. The Inquisition was disbanded. Vowed to redeem Solus. That's all you get to import. Okay. That's all you can import from previous world state. 3 games worth and 2 decisions. Well, 3 decisions. Romance, whether you kept the Inquisition and whether you vowed to stop or save Solus. That is quite disappointing. But I guess it's kind of an all roads lead to the same destination thing. Stop spinning. Oh, here's our Rook. Gonna see where this lands us when we come out of here. You can change your appearance later in the game. Good to know. A feature solely missing from real life.
So, where were we? Oh, right. Him. Our best plan is to stop the Dreadwolf before he can perform his ritual. After following his trail across half the known world, we finally tracked him to Manrathus, capital of the Deventer Imperium.
Factions involved.
But to find the Dreadwolf in a city this big, we need a local expert.
Yeah.
So, naturally, our story begins where all great stories begin. With the seediest bar in town. And a missing contact.
I like these cinematics.
Let's try this again. Where's Ned?
Nice.
You think you can come into my bar and make demands?
Yeah.
Ned Dallas is my only shot at finding the Dreadwolf. I'm not leaving until I know where she is. Be ready to talk by the time I get to you.
Darling, you're adorable.
Now, how barracked is this turn of events?
Not enough gold in the world for this.
Capable for a mage.
Meet Bianca. She'd like you to stay a while.
Again, putting things from Dragon Age 2 calling back.
Nev Gallus.
Dumat Plaza. The Venatori cultists took her to Dumat Plaza.
Thanks.
Getting headbutted by someone with horns has to hurt a lot.
Your friend Nev Gallus is at Dumont Plaza.
I heard. That's why you're my second in command. Although, for the record, there was probably an easier way to do that than fighting an entire bar.
Eric has noted that you like actions more than words.
See, you say that. But we do have Nev's location now, so...
Don't get cocky.
Come on. Harding will be worried.
All right. Break's over.
I hope Nev's as good at finding people as you claim.
She's the best damn detective I've ever met. If she says she's got a lead on Solus, I believe her. The Archon's palace. Something must have gotten them riled up.
Nice. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy this later.